Okay guys, I got a few clips I'm going to be putting up in this video, and we see last day for Obama, January 20th, Obama out, and I just had a birthday yesterday, December 8th, which is 44 days from Obama out. And if you follow my channel, you know that I got born again, saved, neither cold nor hot, no more lukewarm at 44 years old. And this here is the 44th president, Barack Hussein Obama, which I believe will break the covenant they're going to be making, and he will side with Islam when the tides turn, and they will break the covenant. They will go into the rebuilt temple in Jerusalem, which hasn't happened, but this is what I'm telling you, I believe is going to happen according to the scriptures. And this will be the son of perdition. He'll even walk into the Holy of Holies, and there's going to be a deadly head wound, lion, sign, and wonder, and they'll make an image of him. And you will not be able to buy and sell without his mark. It goes in your right hand or in your forehead, and you can't buy and sell without it. If you take that mark, you're damned to hell. And the only way you can get that mark is you have to buy, or you have to bow down to the image of the beast, which had a deadly head wound in his heel. They'll make an image of it, and worship the beast. Otherwise, you can't even receive the mark to buy and sell. And you'll be killed if you don't bow down to the beast in his image. So that's the time of testing, Jacob's trouble. People are you're gonna have a test to go through, whether you love your life or not, whether you're willing to lose your life for the truth and not worship the beast and take his mark to buy and sell. So that's what I believe, and I believe Donald Trump is part of the setup. The four horsemen, I believe this is the first horseman, the white horse rider that comes in peaceably, which he already did all these things. White horse, Denver Bronco, then comes back to Chicago, accepted speech, yes we can, and the serpent out there in Millennial Park, and the Powerball Illinois State Lottery was 666 that day. You can't make it up, and Chicago is zip code 60606. It's all set up, guys. They mapped out Washington D.C. They put the Star of Sirius in the north side of the White House, which is the Oval Office, which is an ovary, and then you got the phallus right there, which is a penis of Osiris, and you got Isis out there, the Statue of Liberty, and they're resurrecting the Antichrist. They're showing you, just like they're copying Jesus, how Jesus had the Star of Bethlehem that the three wise men showed. It showed him right where he was born, just like they got it mapped out in Washington D.C. with the owl, the capital of the United States of America, where the 33-degree Freemason Scottish rites are at, and the Star of Sirius that's built right into the streets of Washington, D.C., which is also in a perfect square with 3 different cities to make it, and 2 different states, which is Virginia, the Virgin, and Washington, D.C. used to be, before that it was Rome, Little Rome, and it's built on, Washington, D.C. is built on 7 mountains, 7 hills, just like the Vatican is over there with their the key to open the bottomless pit. And we're at the end game here, and the church is about ready to leave, and those who are counted worthy will be leaving, and then They're going up through the firmament. There's a door open, and then Jesus shuts it, and we go back to Father's house where there's many mansions, and then Jesus is going to open the book and start opening the seals, which is going to open up the bottomless pit, seal number 5. And there's going to be nowhere to hide for them people that are left behind. The locusts are going to come after the people, and it's going to hurt all the people other than the 12 tribes of Israel, that the 144,000 that have their father's name and mark on them. It's crazy times we're living in. I want to put these videos up to just let you know, and they're going to use Donald Trump to bring in martial law, the law and order, and also he'll be helping to bring in the mark of the beast by talking about it's for our own safety, peace and safety and security, and Great Britain's all in on it, and the Vatican, Rome's in on it, and it's a new world order. They've been planning this long ago. That's why they came over and took the land from the Indians and slaughtered and murdered them. Okay? So, I just wanted to let you guys know that, because because nobody else is telling you that. And I put these videos up exposing all this stuff, Donald Trump, and my views get knocked off. They take them all the way down to nothing. You can't even hardly watch the video, and comments are disappearing. Everything. So you're speaking the truth when they don't want it up. So please do what you can to get this video out, make it viral as possible as you can. It'll get to the right people, because the Lord gets the message out to his children that need to hear this stuff. So look at that. We ain't got much time left. Anything can happen the fourth quarter of Barack Obama's term. Anything can happen. Hey, no man knows the day and the hour either. Repent ye and believe the gospel if you haven't. Make your call and election sure. Examine yourself to see if you be in the faith. God bless.
Hello again. On November the 27th, 2016, I put up a video, quote, "We have all been duped." When I got it back, 172,221 views, 3,490 thumbs up, 283 thumbs down. Looks like the thumbs up are kicking ass. I want to share some of the comments some of the viewers made. Great video, excellent content. So much is very true, but I have my sincere doubts on that JFK assassination, and even about good old honest Abe Lincoln. Everything that they taught us is BS, and that includes the shape of the earth, and even, unfortunately, the Bible. The powers that be have been ruling us for God only knows, and are extremely wise and clever. It amazes me to this day just how stupid most people can be, especially when they benefit from this evil and corrupt system. I have been trying to wake people up to such obvious things as chemtrails, as GMO, 9/11. Yeah, I've been trying to do the same. I've got about 100 videos on 9/11. They're really absurd stories in the Bible. NASA's fake, but none of them seem to give a shit about any of it. Sad, depressed, and lonely is how I live my life, and wondering, really, what's it all for in the first place? I want to talk a little bit about the death of an astronaut. I don't know if you folks know this, but yesterday would have been the 8th of December, 2016. John Glenn, the first man to walk on the moon, died. Now, you might want to ask yourself, did that really even ever happen? Huh? They showed a clip of John Glenn walking on the moon, and you can see how he's sort of hopping. Yet when he kicks up dirt, the dirt falls no different than it would fall here on Earth. If you don't believe me, go Google it and see for yourself. Now, how is that possible? How is it possible? He seems to sort of float, yet when he lands on the surface of whatever surface he's on, he kicks up dirt, sand, or whatever material that is, and it falls the same way as sand would fall on the beach right here. I'm sort of digressing. I do that on occasion. Another viewer wrote, I completely agree. It's all a massive lie. No one wants to go there, it seems. I have told people for years that everything in this world is rigged, which commonly results in a blank expression. You know, I get that blank expression quite often when I go up to people and I said, you know who Michael Obama is? And they look at me. Huh? And they say, no, I don't. I go, yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Go Google irrefutable proof. Michelle Obama is a man. Anyway, another viewer wrote, I've been awake for so long that I can't even associate privately with anyone still a part of the television cult. This one viewer wrote a rather lengthy comment. It is a she, I always believed the numbers were exaggerated after I realized that there was a deliberate propagandizing in the US, so no one could tell the truth about what certain people did. The numbers are exaggerated. When you hear that Obama has a 51% acceptance, you gotta be shitting me, huh? The guy's down by toe jam. When you hear that unemployment is at 5%, look around. How many people do you know that aren't working? Again, those numbers are exaggerated. The viewer went on to say, I think that regardless of the actual numbers, the propaganda was set up, regardless also of how it actually came about. The Rothschilds are the Vatican bankers, and this alliance has been going on for quite a few centuries, especially with the Jesuits. Isn't Donald a Jesuit? And a lot of questions arise about these things. One also hears about Orthodox Jews in Israel being persecuted the way some smaller Christian groups are here. Some things you say about the way these people lived agreed with my stepfather said. His early childhood was in Germany. Maybe they were like the hillbillies of that race. Every race has them, of course. Also consider that virtually all of the cathedrals in Europe, which were in major metropolitan centers of Europe, came through the war unscathed. Well, a lot didn't, but the viewer's right, many did. While the Protestant cities of Coventry and Dresden were decimated, Dresden was reduced completely to ashes. I guess God reached out with his hand and cut the bombs over the cathedrals. Sure, no pilot was allowed a mission anywhere near Rome that wasn't a Roman Catholic. My stepfather was raised Catholic, but later converted to Protestant, and he had some very interesting observations about the war. The Rothschilds got even richer off the war, of course. Why do you think the Bushes always fueled the military-industrial machine, huh? I know Catholics who say their churches got taken over, whatever the case is, and it could be the other way around, or mutual intermingling. I'm sure it started a lot earlier than they suspect. Politics makes strange bedfellows indeed. It is the nature of organized religion to become politicized. The devil always finds a way. I can't help but conclude that this is a religion, a religious struggle we are engaged in, and it for the definition of Christianity. When Moses fought with the necromancers of Egypt and won, it was a battle of two different powers. Later, this mysterious religion crept into Judaism with the exile. And this is what Jesus, John, and Paul were talking about, fake Jews. It's exactly the same struggle today. It goes back to Egypt and even further. It's always been the same war. There is no escaping it. Christianity, the real Christianity, almost defeated Rome and its empire slavery system until Rome decided to play nice, edict of toleration, mixing up religion, and they were making lists of those who were too smart to swallow the edict ended. And the worst prosecution followed. But what happened was supposedly Christianity won, and everything was all hunky-dory after that. But it wasn't Christianity anymore. History does repeat itself if we forget it. People say everything is a lie, but this is the mother of them all, that Christianity won. This other viewer wrote something interesting. Are you aware of the fact that the Corporate Act of 1871 put the Articles of Incorporation for the United States of America, Inc., Title 28, Section 3002, 15A, B, and C, under U.S. Code, and our old capital city, Washington City, into the hands of a group calling themselves the Crown Corporation on February 21st, 1871. The primary shareholders are the British Royals and the Vatican Inc. They are now referred to as the IMF. They buy, sell, and trade humans now on Wall Street through the birth certification mother's bond stock scam. They incorporated every single one of our lives through the scam and turned us into the human products. They cannot collect on them until they can prove that we are dead. Can you even imagine how much money they made on every single dead soldier's body in the Vietnam War, or the other fake wars that have sent our defenders off to fight and die in? We have been shanked and screwed by the enemy for well over a century. They did not start playing those life and death games on Wall Street with us and our descendants until 1939. But they are surely experts at it now. You know, it's sad. People tend to spend so little time on any one of my videos. I think the average viewer spends less than 2.5 minutes. So most never get to hear what my viewers send me. I try to make my videos as short as I possibly can, knowing that they don't spend time to watch them. If you folks don't watch this video, you're really missing out on a hell of a lot. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my channel. Ask your like-minded friends to do the same.
You people are mind controlled. You're under mind control. This is the real agenda right here. This is the real story. There's the American flag, subservient to the Vatican. They're flying the Vatican flag. He is on this Cardinal Dolan, Timothy Dolan. This guy's a very, extremely powerful Catholic, one of the most powerful Catholics in America right now. And here he's got Chump and Hillary. But notice the stand here. It's kind of like these two are almost like at attention militarily, and he's kind of at the parade rest or whatever. Thought that was interesting. But notice also the circle of light there above his head, like he's the saint. And here's the two little servants of the Vatican.
Now, what can we say about Donald Trump? Is he bought and paid for, like Clinton? Is he part of the establishment's plan? Is he just candidate number 2? Because they're portraying this idea in the press that they're dead against Trump being in or being selected as president. And it would seem that the New World Order would hate Trump to be the next president of America. But he said a few things at this event which makes me think that he's just one of them.
We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias, to defend religious liberty, and to create a culture that celebrates life.
And then he goes on to say this.
And we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community. Thank you very much. God bless you. And God bless America. Thank you. Thank you.
So he's talking about the one world government there.
And we've
world
got
community.
we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community.
And he says the religious leaders here are to be an example for everybody else.
And the great religious leaders here tonight give us all an example that we can follow.
Okay, I don't think they're probably that good of an example.
In the scriptures that we Jews and Christians and Muslims cherish,
And we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community.
This cross, this thing, and there's a crown above it. We couldn't make out what these different medals are there on his shoulder. But let me just show you what this thing is. This is the Order of the British Empire, OBE, for God and the Empire. You say, what's significant about that? Well, this order, if you do the research into it, you can look into it more, but it's a British Commonwealth order. In other words, it's people that are subservient to the throne of England, the throne of England being subservient to the Vatican. It is basically a Shriner level
of the Holy Father, Pope Francis. His message about rejecting a mindset of hostility, his calls to reduce inequality, his warnings about climate change.
We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias.
Stand up to anti-Catholic bias. Well, then I guess I'm going to be in trouble, huh? Because I'm anti-Catholic. Because I'm against Roman Catholicism. Oh, but he's the lesser of two evils, right? Oh, Hillary's such a wicked, liberal and thinks, and she is, but he'll be so much better. They're both servants of the Vatican. Get it through your thick skulls, people.
And I understand why, because the country is in a state, our country is not great either. The world is changing very fast, and so along comes someone and says, let's make our country great again. I can understand why people would buy that so easily. It plays on a place in people that is getting desperate. But that is the ploy, to feed into that desperation that is building within people, and that's exactly the kind of manipulation that it always does. Just look back at history. History repeats itself. This is the same game with different players. Don't fall for it.
Ravage. Ravage.
So, folks, this is all in control of the Jesuits. So the joke being here is that Henry Kissinger and the other people that he mentioned are Catholic. I mean, what you're getting told here is the truth in the form of jokes.
And without the amazing support of the many devoted Catholics on stage. You know, Catholics like Henry Kissinger, Howard Rubenstein.
Right, all Jews, apparently, you know, and according to the internet conspiracy truthers, the Jews run the world. So this guy's telling you the truth here in the form of a joke.
And without the amazing support of the many devoted Catholics on stage. You know, Catholics like Henry Kissinger.
Okay? Because they're not Jews, they are Catholic.
Got to come together as he puts up 666.
Not only as a nation, but as a world community.
Come together not only as a nation, but as a world community. He just called for the New World Order, people.
And the great religious leaders here tonight give us all an example that we can follow.
So Trump has been coming here his whole life, apparently, according to this statement here.
But I have great memories of coming to this dinner with my father over the years when I was a young man. Great experience for me.
So this guy, Trump, is definitely on the payroll of Rome. Something odd here happens that I thought was worth mentioning. The camera switches to Trump, and the cardinal standing next to him starts swaying and nudges Trump. So I just thought I'd point this out. Check it out.
Life is your greatest gift to us. Teach us to respect life from its natural beginning to its natural end. Help us to reach out to the marginalized in our society.
So he nudges Trump, and Trump starts nodding.
Life is your greatest gift to us. Teach us to respect life from its natural beginning to its natural end. Help us
And then Trump opens his eyes because he's wondering what's happened.
to reach out to the marginalized in our society.
So the only way to make America great again is not primarily with the ballot box. It is for people to get on their knees and pray that God would intervene in this situation, in the way things are unfolding, because these nations once respected God, but now they're striving after what's wrong, what's evil, what's sinful. And no man, including Donald Trump, is going to single-handedly save or redeem a nation that is turning away from God. Don't make this political. I'm really surprised that 30% of truthers on the main channel made this political. This is nothing to do with politics. This is to do with a spiritual war. This is to do with the Bible. It's to do with prophecy. And we need to pray. That's all we can do. Please don't ask my advice on who or whether you should vote, because that's between you and God. It's your own choice to make. But I'm just trying to warn people that this agenda goes far deeper than it looks. Don't just jump on someone charismatic who comes onto the scene and says everything that our itching ears want to hear, because this is how the trick works. They play society. They play on people's emotions, and it's dangerous.
Right. If you're falling for this Vatican psyop type of a thing, that, oh, he's so much better than she's going to be. He's the first man I've ever heard running for president that said we need to stop anti-Catholic bias. We need to fight against that. I never heard anybody else say that. But you're not convinced, are you? You just got that little ray of hope. Well, I just can't think what would happen if Hillary would get in. I just can't think. Yeah, sure. You need to get right with God, people. Persecution is almost at our doorstep now.
We're having some fun here tonight, and that's good. On a personal note, what an amazing honor it is to be with all of you. And I want to congratulate Hillary on getting the nomination, and we're in there fighting, and over the next 19 days, somebody's going to be chosen. We'll see what happens. But I have great memories of coming to this dinner with my father over the years when I was a young man. Great experience for me. This was always a special experience for him and me to be together. We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias. We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias.
Io vi parlo come fratello. Grazie al Signore perché ci unisca tutti. E avanti, siamo fratelli, perché questo è un miracolo, il miracolo dell'unità è incominciato.
I mean, we could have another 8 years of Hillary Clinton and the worst mess that anybody could make out of a nation. You're going to be held seriously to account by God if you don't vote. And you're going to find that out before this broadcast is over. You're going to be guilty of murder. You're going to be guilty of an abomination of God. You're going to be guilty for every baby that's aborted from this election forward.
And you certainly don't need to be Catholic to be inspired by the humility and heart of the Holy Father, Pope Francis, or to embrace his message.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith. Amen. Amen. Amen.
We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias, to defend religious liberty. America is in many ways divided like it's never been before. And the great religious leaders here tonight give us all an example that we can follow. We're living in a time and age that we never thought possible before. And we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community.
If there is no more protest, how can there be a Protestant church? Maybe now we're all Catholics again.
You're going to be held seriously to account by God. You're going to be guilty of murder.
We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith. Of an abomination of God. Amen.
How can there be a Protestant church?
You're going to be guilty of murder.
Of the Holy Father, Pope Francis.
Protest is over. If there is no more protest, how can there be a Protestant church?
I'm a right-wing conservative Christian type. That's how I've always been brought up, and I've always voted towards the right-wing, the party that would be more likely to support Christianity in the right wing. Sadly, there isn't really any of that left in politics, whether it be the UK or the US. There's no real Christianity. That's like saying that Fox is a Christian news network while it airs Lucifer on the other hand. So just because this is the pre-run to the elections, it doesn't mean to say that we're still not in the season of the end times, that the US and, well, most of the world is turning their back on God. It doesn't change any of that. Don't get caught in the hype. This ties into the making the male look crazy and the female candidate more composed. So again, with that demonising of the male, the age of the woman, all of that. It also ties into the demonising of the Christian, that a lot of Christians, because he's standing as right wing, are getting drawn into that, but then at the same time being branded as racist, being branded as homophobic, being branded as extremist. And we've got the whole oncoming, what seems to be provocation of chaos.
Knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees, I promise. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
This man is not free from the agenda. From what I've seen, there's no way he really can't be, when billionaire, rubbing shoulders with the elite and getting to this position in order to be shown across the world and run for president. You don't get to that position without being involved and in some way, shape or form. I'm sorry to say, it's just the truth. So once again, saying things that are intentionally not politically correct to stir up the bucket, whilst we've got all these massive influx of immigration that they've allowed, all of the, you know, allowing all that to happen at the same time, stirring up a sense of patriotism, but with a false candidate who draws the right wing into that and stirs them up, just like they're doing with Alex Jones. Agents of chaos, that's what we'd call them. And people say, well, why would the press be going against them? Hegelian dialectic, scapegoatism. The reason the press would be going against them is because with every hateful statement that this person will make, with every time the press laughs at Donald Trump, to put it simply, that is actually a converted form of them laughing at the right-wing Christians. Do you see the way it works? They're tarring Christians with that racist branding, claiming that they are linked to Christianity, but then at the same time, you know, denying the fundamental principles of Christianity. For example, Donald Trump was asked if he would ever seek forgiveness, and he pretty much, in so many words, said no. But it is making the left wing probably look a bit more composed, Hillary Clinton, and making the right wing look maniacal, crazy. Even, you know, just the whole comedy act is all a comedy act, which I believe that this is controlled opposition, in order to make the right wing look mentally insane. That is what they are doing over and over again. With every time we keep seeing this over and over, that the right wing is being portrayed, because it links to Christian fundamentalism and evangelical Christianity, they're making the right wing look weak. They're making the right wing look unstable and laughable.
So your mind must be filled with the Word of God when all people persecute you and turn on you. This is no game. The church in America is going to suffer so terribly. We will be called things that we're not and persecuted not for being followers of Christ, but for being radical fundamentalists who do not know the true way of Christ, which of course is love and tolerance. You'll go down as the greatest bigots and haters of mankind in history. Your suffering will not be noble.
Agents of chaos, that's what we'd call them. In the third rank, we shall set up our own, to all appearance, opposition. Our real opponents, at heart, aka the Christians, will accept this simulated opposition as their own and will show us their cards. Now, how blatant are we seeing that Christians are being goaded and baited into this seeming opposition? Skipping down. Now, this is what I was saying about the emotions that are being used and the hypersensitivity. Look at this. When a pulse quickens, these hands will lead opinion in the direction of our aims. When a pulse quickens. Emotional impulse. Quickening. For an excited patient loses all power of judgment and easily yields to suggestion. Those fools who will think they are repeating the opinion of a newspaper of their own camp will be repeating our opinion or any opinion that seems desirable for us. In the vain belief that they are following the organ of their party, they will in fact follow the flag which we hang out for them. Be careful, guys. Don't fall for the traps. Peace. God bless.